I was just going to ask y'all that are here. Before I get started with what I think I want to share, I would love to hear from each of you your number one marketing challenge that you're facing right now. And also, if somebody's already mentioned it, say, yeah, they did that, but then come up with a new one, okay? Because I really want to bring some value to each of your lives and want to know that I'm speaking directly to your pain points.
That's awesome. Thank you, Haley. So we are live streaming, and we also have a number of my authors who are following and here joining today on Zoom. So my name is April Cox. If you don't know me, I have a special guest here today, and we are going to be talking about the topic of marketing, book marketing, and especially where it comes about your messaging around book marketing. Haley Evans is a recent author that I've been working with, and her book, which just got released today, is about this exact topic. So I thought, what a wonderful guest to have her today. We're going to go through this whole approach of helping you not only learn what her book is about, but to get some real actionable marketing tips
Mhm.
and tools that you can use to help your book sell better. And that's what we're all here for, is to get more sales, learn more things about how to publish and how to market our books. So again, April Cox here. And if you are streaming with us on YouTube and you would like to come over and be here with us live in the in the Zoom session with Haley and I and my authors here, you can go to aprilcox.com/events, EVENTS, and you can be here and ask questions live, or just hang out with us on YouTube and feel free to post your messages or your questions there. So I'm going to ask Haley to go ahead and tell us a little bit about herself, and we are going to just jump right into marketing messages, and this is going to be an amazing event. Thank you so much, Haley, for being here with us today.
Yeah, absolutely honored to be here. Thank you so much. And, as we've gotten to know each other, we've just really clicked in a lot of different ways. And it's special to share the knowledge that I have with you and vice versa. And so I think that's what we're all here for. We're here for collaboration, not competition. And there's so many people out there that need to hear your message. And I want to make it a simple formula and a framework that you can use on your own, and so excited to share. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the book, your topic for today, and what does your book cover, and um, a little bit more about especially the marketing message and how you're going to provide the background and the information that we need to improve our own messaging.
hmm Yeah, great question. So my book is called Epic Impact. Epic stands for engage, persuade, inspire, and close. And so if you can just remember those four little letters with those acronyms, but in a broader term, it is a messaging framework, a blueprint to say, if you structure your messaging around this framework, it will work every time. It works on all audiences, all platforms, all channels. Whether you're a fiction writer or you're a children's, author, whatever you do, it truly is a remarkable framework. And the way I got started in it, you want me to share a little bit of my backstory? You want to
Yes,
keep
please
asking me
do.
questions?
Yeah, please
Okay.
do. Go ahead and share your backstory, and
Yeah.
then I'll share some of the pain points that I'm seeing being posted in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. So the way I got started in this was, and some of you might relate to this, I became a single mom all of a sudden overnight in about 15 years ago. My boys were 11 and 13. And I had not finished my college education because I ended up as a teen mom, got married at 17, had my second one at 20, and then was married for 14 years. When I found like he was living a double life, I was like, yeah, that doesn't work for me. So the only option I had at that point was to go on food stamps and Medicaid. I knew I didn't want to stay there. I needed to finish my education. I didn't want to go into debt. So I started writing scholarship essays so that I could earn grants and scholarships to cover my college. So one turned into two and three and four, and eventually I earned $52,000 in scholarships and grants, which covered completely all three of my degrees debt free, which I earned in 5 years, including an MBA. And so I thought, wow, this storytelling thing, I never really thought that I was, a storyteller, but that kind of kicked it off and it's kind of evolved since then. I've had a couple other businesses along the way, but I think the thing that I do well is at least take your messy marketing and like make it clear and so that you're talking right to your audience because you've got to connect with them on their pain point, what they want. It has to always be focused on them. And so that's what this framework is really good at.
I love that. Let's take a look at some of the questions that we're getting. So you asked what their biggest challenges were, and I hear social media, building an email list, gatekeepers, Karen says, all of the options to market. What are the most effective? Email marketing, how to shift storytelling from doing self-help to a children's book.
Yeah, I mean, and those are all related to, here, I'll put the book in so that you can see a little bit about that. But the tagline is captivate supporters, uh, inspire action and lead with story and AI. So I also use a lot of AI to help make my story and my process efficient because I feel like since AI, I've been able to clone myself because I have learned how to use it very efficiently. And so I'm actually working on an app that will hopefully be coming out in the next 4 weeks or so that will be available for consumers or businesses that need to clarify their messaging, whatever it is. If you're writing an email or if you're sending a pitch to somebody, you're trying to get past that gatekeeper, or you're trying to even just complete a little social media post. I mean, it doesn't seem that difficult, right? But if we had a simple framework, it actually makes it so much better. It makes it a lot easier. So
Wonderful. Let me go ahead and turn myself back on here. Sorry, my coughing fit required that I put myself on mute so I don't completely distract anything. So other things that we're hearing here is trouble with consistency. Also more building email lists and social media. So tell us a little bit about common mistakes that authors make with their messaging. And let's start there. And then we can kind of talk more about the next steps of how do we improve those on those mistakes.
Yeah, and while I'm going to talk about that, April, if you or want to open it up to somebody, if I could get an example, and then I could walk you through how I would change it, and that would probably be the easiest way for them to see it. So happy to do any demos like that as well. But yeah, so I think in general, we as whether we're whatever we want to call us, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, we basically have got to get people to buy our stuff, right? I mean, it's all about I need sales. So that all comes down to messaging and creating a funnel. So my number one first thing that you need to do is you've got to get your intro right. And I call it an epic intro. So we start with the problem that your consumer is facing. We then need to provide the solution that we give them. And then we want to end with the outcome or the transformation that they can expect to receive if they read our books or if they buy our products, whatever that is. We've got to set it up right so that we can immediately capture their attention, whether you're at a networking event or you're at a readers club or you're trying to market yourself on digitally, because there is a lot of competition out there. But as I've walked through this process, and I don't know that April even mentioned this, but if I'm looking at my book right now and it's number 1, 2, and 4 in 3 different categories. And it's because I knew how to write the description well. A lot of that also, the keywords and that kind of thing, April helped me with, and that was very key as well. But Like, for instance, I open up with a question because that immediately engages your audience. Instead of blabbing about what you do or what you offer, or what you're going to give them, you got to make sure that they have something that you want them to solve. And so that is one way that I do it. But back to the epic intro, you want to engage them with the problem. So if you think about what kind of problem do your consumers have that they want to solve? So if you're a children's author, or give me some more examples,
Yeah, I've got
April,
a
on the
couple.
different kinds of
Yeah, I've
problems.
got a couple here. So Keisha has a link here that you could use to go and grab, and we can use that as an example. I also pasted in a link to a book that I think could really use just some analysis of
Yeah,
taking a look at how it's being referred to. And I
yeah,
think your Epic framework would be really helpful on this book listing as well.
yeah, yeah. Is that the story writing, a workbook of
Yes.
creative writing? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
hmm
Yeah. So am I able to share my screen? Okay.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So if it's okay, I have some slides, and I want to just walk you through that epic intro, and then I'm going to demo what that could look like on this
Mhm.
specific, this ad. So, or this description. So I want to be sure to kind of give you that framework first.
Yes,
And
that's great.
let's see
Very
if okay,
valuable.
okay. You see my page here? Present. All right. Is that slide coming through?
Let me see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So Epic Impact, how to use story and AI to innovate, adapt, and dominate your market. So that is actually, I was at Digimarcom. You might not even know what that is. And I get it because you're not in the marketing space, but it's a digital marketing and communications conference. They're international. I just spoke at it on Monday in Charlotte. I got a flat tire on the way back home, 2 hour drive. Oh, that was a mess. But um, I was surprised that even though I was in a room with other marketers and communicators, I was sharing something new, and it was actually insightful enough for them to say, "Hey, this is different, so this is cool." So hopefully, this will be something to get you moving. Okay, so your shortcut to clarity, conversion, and market leadership is this Epic framework. Capture attention in 7 seconds. It might even be less these days, depending on if you're on social media or if you're standing in front of a person. It's very, very quick. You've got to get the necessary words out fast enough to keep them engaged with you. The EPIC framework is the universal approach to messaging that moves people. And then there's a couple strategies here that I can give you if we have time. But like I said, the story that I shared is a little bit about how I got into this whole thing. And I don't know if April, if you've seen it, we don't have to go through it today. It's just a 3 minute video, kind of gives you some backstory.
Yeah.
These are my two sons. And like I said, I earned $52,000 in scholarships and grants because of the storytelling abilities, but I didn't realize it. I was creating this framework. And so that's how it kind of came to be. So I've trained over 500 leaders, 15,000 subscribers on email, 40 to 70% open rates on email, which is very, very good. 8-time award winner for marketing and storytelling and other things. And then I've had 6 national media features, lots of experience, StoryBrand certified guide. You guys you might know what that is. So anyways, the epic intro, you've got 7 seconds, use them or lose them. So it's your quick, compelling elevator pitch built around the problem, solution, and the outcome. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how that also mirrors the deeper epic communication framework that we'll share in just a minute. Okay, so this isn't just normal storytelling, it's designed to convert in a distracted digital first world. Okay, we're all living in it, right? Okay, so the problem, you want to engage them by naming the problem your audience deeply feels. Okay, because you've got to connect with them, you've got to empathize with them, because this immediately grabs their attention. You've got to put something in front of them that makes them say and think, "Oh, that's me." you are talking directly to me. Okay. And they want an answer that's going to completely fix their challenge. Okay. So think about that. Number one, the problem. Secondly, solution. So in this way, we're going to persuade them with the solution that you offer. Okay. You're going to introduce your unique approach, your method, or your offer. You're persuading them that you are trustworthy and that you have a relevant solution that they are looking for, that they haven't tried. Okay. Maybe they haven't read that book. Maybe they haven't tried that product, whatever it is. Or they haven't had time to implement it effectively. Okay. Thirdly, is the outcome. All right. We want to inspire them with the picture of what that could look like so they make a decision. Okay. So you got to paint the picture, show what life looks like after working with you or reading your book or whatever that may be. That inspires the belief and builds the desire. And then that naturally leads to a close by inviting them to take action. Okay. So 3 steps: problem, solution, outcome. Okay. Here is an example. Our team was spinning its wheels and creating tons of content, but still struggling to cut through the noise, drive consistent leads, and improve ROI. Okay. The solution. We implemented story-driven, AI-powered messaging strategies to streamline our workflow, clarify our brand voice, and personalize campaigns at scale. Okay. So I've already addressed the problem and the solution, and now I've got to wrap it up with this outcome. Now we create smarter, more impactful campaigns in half the time, engage our audience more deeply, and consistently hit or exceed our growth goals without burning out our team. Okay. Here is another example from a nonprofit that I worked with. Number 1, problem. Cardiovascular disease is a leading cause of death, but change starts within our community. Okay. Now we're going to go to the solution. The Upstate Heart Walk is dedicated to turning bystanders into lifesavers by ensuring every participant learns hands-only CPR. Okay. Number 3, we're going to go to the solution. Empowering our community to save lives in cardiac emergencies. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So if you had to memorize anything that comes out of your mouth, it needs to be this epic intro or a one-liner, whatever you want to call it. That is the best way to speak, to write an email, write a post, communicate in any sort of way so that people understand they want what you have. Okay. All right. Any questions about, oh, there is a prompt guide and I'll send you that. Or you can take a picture of that, you're welcome to, and you can download that for free. But any questions about that one piece, because I want to make sure that we're clear about the foundation, and then I'm going to show you how that applies in a listing or a description.
I always find it to be very difficult to come up with that one sentence. I tend to be way verbose, so I love that you're going to go through some examples.
Yep, definitely, for sure. Any other thoughts that, questions, anything that, I'm just looking at any of the, okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go to okay. Tell me, how many of you are using AI on a regular basis to help you with your messaging, marketing, your descriptions, anything like that? Like, say if you're can't open the page from the QR. Okay, hold on. I'll get that to you at the end. Yeah, so I know that April is for sure. Are there any specific words to use capture on? Yes, yeah. So what I have done is I have built a lot of custom GPTs, and I actually have an AI writing and strategy assistant where I have my Epic framework inside that custom GPT. So now all I have to do is click the button and then, whatever I want, an email or a post or whatever will have that Epic framework applied to it. And so the way that I would, I'm going to do a new chat, and actually, right, I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to have AI create it for us, and then I'm going to um, explain how and why I did that. Okay, so need a hook. All right, I'm going to go. Oh, I need to go back to there. Okay. Okay, so let me see if I can get my. There we go. All
I
right,
know you've
so
also been doing a lot of stuff for me too. So if you wanted to use any of the examples of things that you've generated and helping me with, and um, I'm happy to have you use those examples if you'd like.
okay, that is great too. All right, cannot find where my okay. So I've got this pulled up. You can see this on this screen, right? That the book. Okay, so a lot of times what I do is I kind of reverse engineer it. Instead of me trying to come up with all the stuff, if I'm trying to analyze something or if I'm trying to mimic something somebody else does, what I will do is go into here and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to say, so I've got my writing assistant on, um, new chat, and I'm just going to say, oh yeah, um, write this in Epic. Get a hold on, description. Actually, I'm going to say analyze it first, and then that's going to tell you why this might not be analyze first, then. Oops, I gotta give it something to do. Okay, there we go. All right, come on. I don't know why this is. Isn't it lovely when stuff just doesn't like to work with us when we really need it? Okay. I normally don't, like I was just actually working on it so you can see hooks, stories, headlines. It's ready to go. Okay, here we go. All right, so it's analyzing this current description. So the strengths is it's introducing Spark the Dragon, the highlights educational benefits, mentions specific weaknesses. The opening line is flat. The key benefit is buried. Structure is disjointed, doesn't fully leverage. Misses urgency or clear call to action. So here we're going to rewrite it in the Epic framework, and then I'm going to say explain why the Epic version is different or better. Okay, so while we look at this, all right, so right now we've got story writing, a workbook of creative writing prompts, blah, blah, blah. I can already see because I'm trained in this, some of the things that are going on here. Let Spark the Dragon guide your child on a storytelling adventure that makes writing fun, nurtures imaginations, opens the door, join the summer with the Star Life Keepers. And so then we've got bullet points. I hate bullet points. Not until you get further down should you have bullet points anywhere close to the top. And I'm going to show you why in this description. Okay, so as it rewrote, let's see. All right. Go back up to here. Okay. Let's spark the dragon, ignite your child's imagination, and help them write their own magical stories. Okay, here's the question. Does your child dream of epic adventures, daring dragons, and thrilling tales, but struggle to put their ideas into words? In story writing, a workbook of creative writing prompts for kids 8 to 12, Spark the Dragon leads your young storyteller into a world where creativity takes flight. Okay, now, just by this opening little piece right here, can you see the difference?
Yes. It's definitely much more interesting. And that's about where the Amazon description would make you click more to read more. So it's so important to have a really good opening.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you want to give them breadcrumbs. Do you remember the Hansel and Gretel tale? We all grew up with. You want to keep them coming back for more. You don't want to just word vomit all over them. You don't want to give them all the information. You want to create curiosity. think about the way that we write our books. Don't we want to keep them turning the page?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's exactly what we have to do on the marketing side. So you have to shift your brain from the producer to the consumer. You got to think about what attracts you to open up a book and want to keep reading. And so later on down here, then you can have bullet points. Okay. Then you do not ever, 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 ever start with bullet points at the top of anything. That is the fastest way to get your reader to tune out because our minds are attracted to story. Okay.
Okay.
You've got to open up with a very engaging piece to keep them reading. So further on down, why? Okay. First, we're getting them with emotion. Remember, we want emotion first. First and foremost, we make decisions on emotion, and then we back it up with logic. Okay. So this down here is where we see learn by doing, boost confidence and creativity, unplug and connect, teacher approved. Now, if the bullet points were reversed and that came before the story up here, how many more people would you lose because you lost them in that first 7 seconds?
Right.
So that's why we have to be very strategic when it comes to our marketing messaging right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. Okay, so here are some suggested headline and CTAs. Let's spark the drive, ignite your child's imagination, and help them write their own magical stories. Okay, CTA options, start their adventure now. Help your child create the first magical story. If you have different variations of your call to action or your CTAs, that's great because one might speak to one buyer and might not speak to the other. So it's okay to have a few different ones sprinkled throughout. I also, my signature line with all of my messaging, typically, especially my emails, is a PS. You know why? Because if people see a big block of text, but they see a PS at the bottom, guess what they're going to read? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we read from the bottom up. And so I always put that PS, and once in a while I'll put it on like even a social media text or something because you'll be surprised. Okay, here is why the Epic version works better. The original starts with let Spark the Dragon guide your child on a storytelling adventure that makes writing fun, blah, blah, blah. This is fine, but it's generic. It could sound like any other educational book. You've got to stand out. So this is how you do. Does your child dream of epic adventures, daring dragons, and thrilling tales, but struggle to put their ideas into words? Okay, that immediately pulls the reader in by identifying a relatable problem. Okay, kids have vivid imaginations, but a lot of times they can't express it. So, sparking curiosity and empathy. Okay, just like what we talked about. Okay, persuade. The original lists several features scattered throughout the characters, like characters, story elements, downloadable resources, but it lacks a clear narrative. So don't tell them all this stuff before you've hooked them. The Epic version organizes benefits into clear, emotionally resonant sections. Learn by doing, boost confidence, unplug and connect. So these are just short, tight little words. The thing I love about AI the most is that if we can say it in 20 words, AI can do it in 10. And then I say, if AI can do it in 10, I wanted to redo it in 5 because we are fast movers these days and we want to get to the bottom line fast. Okay. All right. And then on the Inspire, the vision and transformation, the original focuses more on the book's content than on the transformation. Remember, we got to
So
focus on think
important.
to, huh?
Yes. It's so
Yeah.
important to have that
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
Yes, we've got to paint the picture. We've got to make sure that they understand the vision. It tells you what's inside, but not what happens to the child who completes it. Remember, the focus has to be on your audience, on the child, what they're going to get out of it. Okay. The Epic version paints a picture of the journey. Whether your child's already a budding author or just beginning to explore the power of words, story writing turns learning into an unforgettable adventure. Okay. This inspires parents to imagine their child's confidence or creativity and joy blossoming, which is that's what every parent wants, right? So now we're speaking to the parent. we've talked to the parent, we're speaking to what the child needs, and then we're going to go in for the close. The original description ends abruptly without clearly asking the reader to act. Here's the other thing that I find a lot of people forget the call to action. Okay, don't ever leave anything without a call to action. So here's the thing, even though I'm a nonfiction writer, and I have written a little bit of fiction, I still have a call to action in a lot of my writing. And this might go against normal authors, but the reason why is because there has got to be some kind of purpose to your story. Is it a lesson that you want people to remember? Is it something that you want them to do? What is it that you want them to get out of that message? Okay, so the epic version says, ready to spark their creativity. Let the adventure begin today. Not like buy now or get it, blah, blah, blah. You want to invite them with action and urgency. Okay, encouraging the buyer to click now confidently. Okay. So again, here's the table. So you've got the element, the original and epic version, and this is this is kind of boils it down in a nutshell. The issues that one description was having versus what it could be improved to. Questions, thoughts?
I can't wait to grab that and try the new version to see how many more people are going to pre-order based on that updated description. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, you are welcome. Yes, for sure. Okay, let's see. Some more tangible things that could help you with the lead generators. Okay. When you were talking about a sales funnel, and I can go any which direction, April, I don't need slides. I just like have this all in my head. So if there are any other pressing needs, I can go back to go into more of the full epic framework, or we can get into specific pieces of the funnel, or where would the best use of our time go from here.
Well, I love the idea of talking about a funnel because I don't know, when I first started with all this, I didn't even know what a funnel was. I mean, you hear people talking about it all the time, but to really understand what it means from a marketing perspective, so many of us have websites where we're inviting people to purchase and trying to walk them through that process, which is what a funnel really is. So, do you have something that we can go through that will
Yeah,
talk about what it is and how to improve what we're doing so that we can be more impactful and get more results?
sure. So when you think about your epic intro, and let me do a quick example. Okay, so there's so many things that I would love to share with you. So whenever you have a new book, it may um, appeal to the same audience that you currently have, but you still want to differentiate it so that it's like, hey, here's my new thing. So my suggestion is start with a brand story. And April and I did this just the other day. And if you want, I can pull that up.
Oh, that would
And
be great. That would be
yeah.
wonderful because it is
So you,
so much more impactful than the
yeah,
way that I was describing my brand.
yes. So let's see, April. Let's see, marketing audit, your brand. Okay. So I have a way that I can, and how I did it for April is I literally went to her website and I took I don't know, maybe it was 2 or 3 pages, and I put it into my Epic GPT, and I ran it through, and we could see clearly like where the gaps were. So you always want to start with a brand story for either each book or your brand in general. And so what this helps you do is, number one, we've got her epic intro dialed in, but it also addresses who is your audience. Okay. And then what do they want? And then what are the three problems that they're trying to solve? So whenever somebody comes to find a book, they basically essentially have a problem. They have an external problem that drove them there. They have an internal problem, which is how they feel. And they have a philosophical problem, which is like, why is it so dang hard to find a good book these days, basically? So that is the problem. The guide is you, and you're going to balance empathy with authority so that you can connect with them. And then you give them an easy 3-step plan. Buy the book, book a call, whatever it is that you're doing. And then you have a clear call to action. Transitional call to action is your lead generator. So a lot of times people forget about this or they don't know how to create one, and I'll help you with that too. And then you want to pay the stakes, the failure and the success, so that they understand what kind of transformation they could get if they bought your book. And so you can kind of see some of the epic within the brand story here. And then we've got taglines. And then so April and I dickered over words for a while, and it was kind of fun. But for example, let me make this a little bigger. Her brand message makeover is that too many heart-centered storytellers pour their souls into writing a book only to feel lost, overwhelmed, and invisible when it's time to publish and share it. That's self-publishing made simple. Here we go. We're on the solution. We guide aspiring authors step by step to confidently publish a high-quality book, build an impact-driven business, and turn their story into lasting legacy, starting with one free call today. So you can see that you've already written a brand story just in that one little snapshot. So that is the basis of a brand story, and that's something that I can walk you through if you're interested in it. So then all of your messaging needs to be based on this brand story. So let's just say, if you get your brand story figured out and come over to chat, and we're going to do a new one. We're not even going to do my thing here because I want it to be in April's voice. What would you want to write, April, with this? A book description? What have you got on your list of to-dos?
I would love to, let me see. I have a new session coming up to help authors to learn how to run their own Amazon ads. Is that something that you're talking about? Like an invite
Yeah.
to come and
Yeah.
learn about Amazon ads with me?
Yes. Write a story. Or so write. Is it going to be an email or is it
An
going to be
email. Yeah, it'll be an email I'll
Okay.
send out to invite them
Okay.
to be part of our Amazon ads group.
Write an email for April to her audience about learning how to do Amazon ads.
Mhm.
Okay. So I have literally put all of her messaging into this information here, and it's going to say, "Hi, first name. You poured your heart into your book. You've edited, polished, and published it. You're so proud of it, of what you created. But now comes the hard part, getting it into the hands of readers who need it most. If you feel like your book is just sitting on the virtual shelf, unseen and uncelebrated, you're not alone. And you don't have to stay stuck. Okay, so you can already see, so GPT knows me, chat knows me. So we've got your engage, we've got your persuade, and we've got the inspire, and then we've got the close down here, sign up. So you can see that just by completing your brand script thoroughly and accurately, we can pull whatever kind of messaging we want now in just about one click.
That's
And
amazing. And it's so much more effective and more um I don't it really inspires people to take action. And I am not very good at doing this. And even just going into ChatGPT regular, it'll come up with better than I do myself, but nothing like this. So you talk about using ChatGPT, but you have a custom GPT that you created that uses this framework of yours, correct?
yes, yes. I have, and like in the backside of all of these custom GPTs that I have either created for myself or my clients, I put in my Epic framework. And so you can actually, do so much. And I have nonprofit, I have for-profit because I work with both sides. But then we could, now that we still have all of this information in the email, we could say, create 3 Facebook um, posts about this event. And so what you want to do is you want to create sequences. Um, the thing that I like long form content writing, of course I do, but if I sent a 2-page email out to my people, they're not going to read it. They're busy.
Right.
I know that my stuff is good, but it's not that good that that's going to stop them in their tracks, just like you got to stop the scroll. You've got to have those keywords in there, but I'll show you how to break up and repurpose your content. So, for instance, if you had created the email just kind of like this, we could very easily create more content using that same information. So your book deserves more than silence. You poured your heart out, blah, blah, blah. See, you're connecting with them right here based on the problem they have, and you're showing empathy. Okay. And then all the way down here is the close, and you've got inspire and persuade in here too. And then relatable and personal, direct and inspiring. It's giving you some different options. But say I wanted to create, if you wanted to send out an email sequence to your email or your CRM, your list, and you wanted to warm them up or introduce your new book, your next book, you could just say something like, create a 5-part soap opera sequence with so something that I love are soap opera email sequences. It takes a lot of content and it breaks it up into little chunks, okay? And so it extends the life of your content. Now you're able to get 2 weeks out of the same one piece because you're actually breaking it up and it's more interesting. And why do we love a soap opera? Because it leaves us hanging with a PS. Yes, tomorrow I'll
I
share the
love
big
that.
mistake I
Yeah.
made.
Tomorrow I'll
Yeah.
share the big mistake I made when I first published. So you see April appear in your inbox and it's like, oh, I need to see what that mistake was that she's going to share. Yeah, this is cool. I love
Yeah.
that as an option.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of people posting in the chat about it and are very interested and can't wait to rewrite their own individual, approach
Yeah.
to highlighting their own books. Jenna says it'd be helpful to see a visual. Do you have any kind of visuals that can help explain this as well?
Is so a visual on which? So I've got my Canva on the on chat or what kind of visual are we talking about?
Jenna do you want to share? Are you talking about like the process that she's going over right now, Jenna? And Shanita says it used to take me hours to write emails like these. AI is so helpful. And I have to say, it's not just AI, it's the power of AI and this amazing framework that is helping us to get these kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah, because every time I'm doing a conference or I'm in a workshop, I ask them, what is your most frustrating thing about AI? And everybody says, it sounds robotic. It doesn't sound like me, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know why? I'll put it to you bluntly. You haven't taken the time to train it to sound like you, but it's not your fault. Okay. There's no necessarily a a book that came with us when were parents to how to raise our children, but there's really been no kind of instruction or structure around how to learn AI and train it to sound like you. So that's what
Mhm.
I'm trying to solve with the Epic framework and the app that I'm creating so that authors and anybody can put in some of the key information that you want. And then just in a second, we've already trained it to sound like you. And it's perfectly written message to appeal to your audience. So
Karen's asking, is this the same as Don Miller's program? I know you've talked about Story Brand. Tell us
Mhm.
what connects StoryBrand to your Epic
Yeah.
and the services that you have in the book itself.
Yeah. So when I walked April through the brand story, that is very story brand. And so I haven't found anything else out there that creates that level of detail and accuracy and foundation for your branding. So that's your branding, that's your base. You got to start with your branding.
So
Secondly,
that's Don Miller's story brand
yeah,
framework. And you
yep,
are a certified story brand coach, right?
yes. I'm a certified guide. Yep, yep. I guess I changed this from guide to coach, but yes. So I've gone through all that. I was also a business made simple coach, and then I upgraded to the story brand. So I have the business background, and I've got the story brand side, and then I've got my own framework for universal messaging. So here's the difference. When you're trying to establish that foundation, you need to start with your branding. And we go through that exercise like what I just showed you with April. But after that, you can apply the Epic framework and for it to be more universal. So the brand story and story brand is great for mostly business kind of interactions, but when it comes to consumer, um, Epic just is so much more versatile because it can be applied in a lot of different areas. So basically, we could apply Epic to a social media post or an email or even on your personal life. If you're just writing a text, I use it all the time in my text. If you want to get somebody's attention and it needs to just be more general audience, then that's where the Epic piece comes in. Yeah.
Great. Good question. Thank you, Karen. John says, or his question is how to customize your epic concept into ChatGPT. So he's kind of trying to figure out how to take what he's doing and use this tool that you're showing. Is that something that you offer that we'll find out about in the book, or something that is an additional purchase?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I don't cover the custom GPT in the book, but I would suggest so right now the ebook is for sale. The paperback and Audible will come out on the July 29th. And even though this first book is kind of geared towards mission driven organizations or nonprofits, it's still very applicable to you as an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur who's just trying to simply um, clarify your messaging. So, number one, I would say get the book. That's going to be your cheapest option. The ebook is 99 cents. That's going to give you a ton of value. And it also comes with my starter pack, which are all the resources and the exercises that go along with the book. So, that number one is a great way to start. Secondly, I do offer custom GPTs. And yeah, 99 cent book. Yeah, so much information. I definitely, yeah, get it now because it's probably not going to be that cheap for too long. But, anyways, yes, back to the services I offer. I offer the brand story. I offer custom made GPTs that will clarify your voice. So basically, if I were to make a custom GPT for April, I would take a lot of her brand script, pair it with my Epic framework, and then create a custom GPT so that she just has to click one button to transform whatever it is that she's doing. And so I offer that as well.
That's amazing. So, Jackie, first of all, I want to say that I worked with this amazing lady, and in an hour and a half together, I got so much value from her taking things that just weren't converting very well, and my messaging was a little unclear. I felt like I told her my website seems like there's so much I could do for people, which there are a lot of things that I offer authors, but how can I make it clearer and easy for people to understand and not so verbose? And boy, we made so much progress. And I'm going to be working with her for a good long time because I'm loving the ability that she has to clarify messaging so easily. And her marketing expertise is the best that I have ever seen. And that's not exaggeration. Haley, I am just so excited to work more with you. And I would say this book is going to be so impactful, just learning to understand how to change your messaging and how to just reword what you're doing in a way that really inspires and makes people want to click or buy or whatever. So if people have something, um, one person said, which kind of problem solution outcome could be included for a picture book with humor and rhymes? So they're trying to change what they're
Mm-hmm.
offering to how do you take that and put it into a
Yeah.
message like what you're showing here? It doesn't
Yeah.
seem to make sense, but yet once I saw you do it, it was like, wow, that is so impactful. So maybe
Yeah.
we could look at that as an
Sure.
option. If
Yeah.
Jackie, if you have
If you have
something,
an
a
yeah,
link
if you
or
have
an
anything. Mm-hmm.
example that we can point to, we can kind of show that this kind of messaging doesn't have a limit to
Right.
just going on a web page with somebody trying to sell something, but it actually shows how to talk about this in a way that is going to make people want to engage with your listing or engage with your
Mm-hmm.
book to
Yeah.
purchase it and use it in other ways. Mm.
Yeah, would be absolutely happy to show you how that would work. So, back to what we worked on with the the children's book. You think about, a parent is coming to find entertainment or find education for their child, and but yet the child, on the other hand, also wants something that's going to be exciting and keep them engaged. And so, really, the picture book, the humor and rhyme, I love that. I have another thing that I called my Seinfeld email, and I take a bunch of content and I feed it through another GPT. And y'all know Seinfeld and how it was just like always something going on. So the Seinfeld email is basically a bunch to do about nothing, but there's still a little bit of a lesson in there. And I sent a cold pitch the other day. I sent an email to a few people and they didn't know me. And the guy who answered it was actually VP of marketing communications at a college up in New Jersey. And he emailed me back within an hour. He said, "This is the best cold pitch I have ever heard. Here's my calendar, book a time." And so it's like, great. So I think you sometimes have to give people what they're not expecting. It's just kind of fun. Okay, website still under construction, book listing. Okay, let me see if I can get this pulled up. All right, let me move my screen over here. All right. All right, so here we go. The Adventures of Sunday and Sorbet. Oh, cute. Oh, all right. Okay, so you just need a little bit more here. Jackie, do you have any more information that anywhere or let me see.
She does have her
Um,
website there.
so I see the link that she put in, and that went to the book listing. Oh, is this what you're calling your website? Oh, here's another thing. Side note. Uh, you really need to get just a landing page. If I understand if you don't want to go through all the mess to have a full website, I don't think you need it, but I would recommend, highly recommend to at least have a landing page. And I'll show you actually um, this is the app that I'm building right now, or the framework that I'm going to be advertising pretty soon. But it's only one page. I don't have a bunch of stuff up here, partly because it's under construction. But I have places here where people can go right to the form. They put their information in, and they can save their spot. And so this website landing page is built with a combination of StoryBrand and Epic. Um, and that's what I would highly recommend anybody that's trying to sell books get, because you need to have somewhere to drive the leads. You can't just drive them to Amazon, because guess what? They get distracted by the next shiny thing that comes up, and then boom, they're gone. The other thing I see, if you have a landing page, is people will put their social media icons on the top. No, do that. Never, never, never put your social media icons at the top of your webpage. Why? Because once somebody goes to Facebook or Instagram, boom, they're gone. They bounce. They are not coming back. You need to have everything on your website, something similar to this, or actually, I'll show you my other website, which is StoryBrand style. So right here, I've got my part of my epic intro. I don't want a lot of text. I don't want it busy. I want it clean so that people can see very clearly where they can find where to connect with me if they're ready to. Most people go to the left, you want your logo there, then they go right, and then they go down. So that's where you want to have two calls to action there. And then further on down, this is my empathy section. Is this you? You're struggling, you're limited by time, unsure. And then you want to have testimonials. Somebody who's read your books and love you. Have their picture there, have a little quote. Now, actually had a lot more quote here, but I didn't put it in text because it needs to be scannable. Then the transitional call to action would be, hey, do you want to see how I simplify messaging? Get the same tools that they use or I use. That is the transitional part call to action in the story brand. If people
Mhm.
aren't ready to book a call, you still want to give them a backup method so that they get on your email list. But in order to have that exchange, you need to give them something of value. Okay. These days and age, you've really got to think about you're exchanging value for their email address. That's the number one thing. Don't give away free information. Give it away with in exchange for an email address. So they got to go here. And then that would be ideally set up to your CRM. Um, and then here's a little bit more. Here's how to differentiate yourself. You need to have that also on your website. What makes you different? So this is that section. And again, I've got more calls to action here in a different way. So it's not book a call. It's something different that might appeal to somebody else. Or this is the uh, authority version where, hey, these are all the brands that I worked with. Here's all the people that have read your books. How many books you sold? How many, um,
Well,
articles have
maybe
been written about?
awards
Yeah,
perhaps. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, and then like right here, here's my achievements. And so this is your authority section. Okay. Remember, we've already dealt with and addressed the empathy. Now we balance that with authority because they have a problem. They know that, you can solve it, but then we have to say the reason why I can solve your problem is because I've done this, this, and this for other people, and I have X amount of experience. And then you always want to give them a three-step plan, no more than three steps. You want to simplify it into one, two, three. People remember things in threes. If it goes more than four or five, it's not going to register. And then again, I'm different kind of transitional CTA. Down here, more testimonials, services. And then you paint the stakes, the negative states, and then you end on the positive stakes or your transformation. And here, down here is where you want to put anything else that's going to be clicking and taking them away from your website. So
Got it. So
that's the stretch.
that's where the social media icons would go. Got
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
So with regard to the one that we were looking at, the website there for the humorous book,
Yes.
how would you recommend that a children's book author provide some sort of the framework or use your framework to come up with something that will fall in line versus what we saw there, which was a very little bit of information that needs to be expanded into that full messaging.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do, did I miss anything else? I want to make sure I address anybody who has questions. Okay. So back to the Adventures of Sunday and Sorbet. I love this. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love the title. Love horses. I grew up in Montana, sometimes going there for summer. So immediately that picture reminds me of special times in my growing up. So I absolutely love this. So what I'm going to do is let's say we're going to copy this. We're going to go back over to chat. And I just want chat to analyze it and see what chat would say. But looking at it, we are not. Um, oh, where did I? I'm gonna bring that back over here to the screen. Anybody got a million tabs open and you can't keep track of them all? Um, no, I'm sure it's only me. It's right,
No,
right?
no,
Okay.
I have way too many myself
Uh,
as well.
yep. Okay. let me get out of my stuff over here. And then, okay. So, oh no, that's not the right one. There it is. Okay. All right. So Adventures of Sunday and Sorbet. Okay. I would say Adventures. How many books start with the adventures of? Okay. Um, that's one thing I would say could be changed right away. There was once a horse named Sunday. He's a best friend for Sorbet. That's so cute. So we really haven't addressed a lot of things here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through chat because it will be much more analytical. Analyze this book description and rewrite. Okay. And then give us the comparison. Hopefully this is helpful for y'all to see. So here's analysis. What works? The rhyme at the beginning is charming and child-friendly. Clear introduction sets up the story, invites the reader to join the fun. Opportunities for improvement. The phrase no better price found feels out of place in a book description. It sounds a little pitchy, likely meant for retail. Yep. The rhyming intro is cute, but could flow better. Some repetition, find their dream K cafe, maybe awkward phrasing. The stakes of and charm of adventure could shine more. Okay, rewritten book description. Let's see. The Adventure of Sunday, and I would still change that. There once was a horse named Sunday who trotted all over the bay. With Sorbet, her best friend, their quest had no end. Would they ever find the Hay Cafe? That's cute. Okay, Sunday and Sorbet are two curious horses on a hilarious hunt for the legendary Hay Cafe. But every turn brings unexpected surprises, silly mix ups, and laugh out loud moments. Are they on the right path, or is the cafe just a dream? Join Sunday and Sorbet on this whimsical adventure full of friendship, fun, and plenty of hay-filled humor. Perfect for horse lovers and young readers who enjoy quirky stories with a big heart.
I love
How does,
that.
how does that?
That really does feel very um, engaging, especially for people that love humor and something a
Mhm.
little bit different.
Yeah, and see that again, back to the epic framework, and it's a not a rigid. So I would say StoryBrand is a very rigid framework where you really have to stay in that set thing. Now with Epic, you also have to stay, but there's a little bit more fluidity with it where you can, do some different things. Now, if I wanted to say rewrite in StoryBrand format, let's see the difference. Okay. But before it does that, I'm going to say this version works, keeps the rhythm charm, rhyming charm while polishing the rhythm, clarifies the adventure and stakes while making it more enticing, legendary Hey Cafe or unexpected surprises, adds emotional appeal by emphasizing friendship and fun, uses keywords that parents, teachers, or gift buyers might search for, like horse lovers, young readers, whimsical adventure. All right, if you want, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's having a hard time. I don't know why uh, why would that, let me, go to another one. Because I think it's important for you to rewrite, or I'm just going to say, write this in StoryBrand format. Book description. I am really glad chat knows how to read my mind because, oh man, spelling on here is terrible. Okay, so I just want to compare so that you can see the difference. Um, a hilarious, heartwarming tale of two horses who just want to find their hay, but discover so much more. Sunday and Sorbet are best friends with one simple goal, find the perfect hay cafe. But when their search takes an unexpected turn and they end up on an adventure full of surprises, laughter, and few wrong turns along the way. Okay, so you can immediately see how and why Epic stands out differently in a book description than StoryBrand would. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, this is still having a hard time. So then I'm going to say, okay, I am going to take the original that we had with it in Epic. I'm going to tweak it a little bit more because I think we could come up with a better um, title. Create a more engaging title.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is a great thing to do before publishing, but unfortunately, once you publish, you're not able to
that's it.
change the title unless you relaunch the book.
Yeah,
So,
that's tough. Yeah. Okay, so here's some title options. Hey there, the whimsical quest of Sunday and Sorbet. This is playful and catchy, highlights their hunt and humor. Sunday and Sorbet's heyday, a tale of friendship and fun. Where's the hay? A hilarious hunt of Sunday and Sorbet. So here's the thing. When y'all come up with your titles, you better make sure that they are really good, really fantastic. And if you're using AI to create some of your descriptions or whatnot, always ask chat or whatever AI you're using, how could I make this better? What things could I improve? Always go back. Don't ever just take the first thing. Just always go back, refine, refine, refine. And you can even ask, you can have a AI ask you strategic questions like, um, I want to create a stronger description. Ask me 5 questions, one at a time. Oh, that's the key, one at a time. Because if you say 5 questions, it's gonna ask you 5 questions, and then you're gonna answer with 5 answers. But here's the thing: if you ask one question at a time, you're going to get a deeper level of refinement at the end. Because here, what feeling or lesson do you want most readers, kids and parents, to take away from Sunday Answer Bay? So then we say, I don't know, April, give me an idea.
um, what do you want them to take away? Say that.
Yeah. What are the, okay, here's so laughter, teamwork, persistence, imagination, right? Imagination. Boom. All right, here's the second question. How would you describe the tone of the story? Is it mostly silly and funny, whimsical, magical? It's pretty much humorous, as Jackie said. Um, Now, what happens here, here we go. Here's the example of why we want it to ask us one question at a time. Because it's going to modify the next question it asks you based on your previous answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so got it. Humorous and imagination driven. Here's the third question. What age range? Is this probably young, 4 to
Probably
7,
4 to 8, maybe
4 to 8?
3 to 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. That's perfect. What makes Sunday and Sorbet unique or different from other animal characters in children's books? Quirky personalities, fun misunderstandings, special friendship, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to say special friendship. And then it's going to give us some, okay, what's one word's favorite or funny moments? What's another funny moment? Silly mix up, surprise. Oh, it's a surprising discovery, right?
Okay.
All right. So when we allow AI to be our strategic partner, not just our content creator, this is how we can get a better level of detail. Sunday and Sorbet are two best friends, um, big imaginations, and even bigger appetites. So this is not written in Epic. However, what we could do is we could take this and we could say combine these two descriptions and make it in Epic format. Okay, so there's one, and then I'm going to go back to the original that we had right here. Okay, and then I'm actually going to say in Epic format, label each section in each thing because I want you to see the breakdown. Okay, here's the engage part. There once was a horse named Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's just a fun little rhyme, kind of gets you hooked in, very cute. Persuade. Sunday and Sorbet are best friends with big imaginations and an even bigger appetite for adventure. Every turn in their journey brings silly mix-ups, inspire. Packed with humor, heart, creativity, this delightful story shows kids, blah, blah, blah. The close. Perfect for horse lovers, dreamers, and young readers ages 4 to 8. So hopefully that,
So
does any
there's
of
the
that,
EPIC, which is part of your framework. And so lots of questions here around is how do you get access to this GPT? Are you planning on making it available for people, this custom version, so people can use and engage with your Epic framework?
yes. So that's again like where I'm working on the app now. Here's something that I can do in the meantime. I'm hoping to have the app working in about 4 weeks. Let me go over to, and I'll just put this in the chat. And like, I'm working with a developer, like, it's so under construction. Please don't judge it. I'll make sure there's no typos or anything. But if you want to join the early wait list and at least like get your name on there, I will start communicating with you about, just updates and stuff like that. You're not committing to anything. But back to what I can help you with now is to help you. Number one, we got to get your brand story down. You've got to start with the brand story. Once we get that, then we can create a custom GPT that's actually going to um, help you in all areas of your promoting or your promotion or your marketing or whatever it is that you want, because it's going to pull from that information. And
So you can
so,
help load information about that is going to be helpful for that individual with all
yes.
of their particular marketing and requirements and things, and then allow them to use that custom GPT to then do their marketing very easily using this program.
Yeah, and so here's why it works. I have a Google form. How I do this is if you go to, and I can share this with you if anybody is ready to purchase. So how the process works is number one, the first GPT is 495, and then everyone after that is 195. For your group, April, I will throw in the branding, okay, which is huge. So if anybody wants to do that deal today and you want to commit, I will happily do that. So that will be your brand story and your custom GPT. So that's a
Wow.
killer deal. And I will be happy to do that. But this is the information that goes into it. Like, it's extremely, like, I want to know your writing style and your tone. I want to know if you're wanting this for emails, ad copy, video scripts, proposals. Here's different frameworks that we could play with. And so there's 11 sections of that. This is extremely detailed because I want to give you the best experience possible. So like when you're ready to hit that button, it's like ready to go for you. And I can give you one more demo if you have just a minute of how I did this for a podcaster. So his name is Steve Ramona. And if you ever get a chance to listen to Business with a Servant's Heart, oh my gosh, favorite podcast ever. And so he sent me this transcript here. And so I created a custom GPT for him. This is 6,000 words. So I trained his GPT right there to his brand voice and all of his branding
Oh, so
to
that's
create
why he was sending you this, is so that you could get a sense for his branding and how he
that.
speaks and what kinds
Because
of terms he
yes,
uses.
I
Ah,
wanted to test it more specifically. I wanted to test it to make sure that I had it right before I let him, have it, because I want to get it down right. So in this brand or in this custom GPT, I trained it to have an epic title, a podcast description, a guest bio, 10 SEO keywords, social media posts, and 3 social media posts. And then, so I just pasted all of that transcript right in there, 6,000 words. Here we go. So it took that raw transcript, and now we have title, we have a podcast description, we have the guest bio, we have 10 SEO keywords. He wanted 10, not 11, not 9. He wanted 10. So we got him 10. Okay, we got 3 social media posts with 3 hashtags. Again, he wanted 10 or 3, not 10, not 5, not 2. He wanted one for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Then he wanted quotes. He wanted 3 quotes from himself as the host. He wanted 3 quotes from his guest. And that is what he got. Now, instead of him taking 2 hours to get crappy copy, he's getting something specifically made for him, and he hits one button and he has 9 pieces of content that are engaging, persuading, inspiring, and close. And this has doubled his engagement on all of his podcasts for the descriptions. He is just he sent me a another email today. He's just sharing this with everybody because he can't believe how much it's accurate and it saved him so much time. And so that is why I can't scale myself, I can't clone myself, but that's my main motivation to create an app so that I can share this with the world that needs this information. That's my heart.
Nice. I love it. So if for the children's book authors and others that are here today, if they wanted to create to get their own like vision and their own story into here and get a custom GPT, it's a one-time price that
Yes.
then they will be able to use for all of their communications, their book descriptions, anything that they need from there. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. And I'm pulling up my Stripe account right now. And I think I have a link that I can just pop in if anybody is interested.
Hmm.
And yeah, because I want to make it easy for you. I know that the whole thing is with the marketing, I know it's challenging and it's so frustrating because like you said, April, you've poured your heart out. You're exhausted. I felt like I had a baby or I got hit by a truck today. I don't know what it was, but it was the emotional part of
Right.
finally getting to the thing, but I'm not done with the thing because now I gotta go market it. But thankfully I knew how to market it before I got started.
It's kind of
With
like having you in my pocket. So I'm very excited that we're working on a custom GPT for me, and it's going to be so valuable because I just this stuff doesn't come naturally to me. So I love the idea that I can have you in here doing this stuff without having to be constantly on the phone with you or setting up more meetings. But this is like instantaneous all of your marketing knowledge and this special framework you've put together and that you've documented in your book, having it in my pocket and being able at my fingertips is just an amazing benefit. I'm really excited about having my own and working with you to finalize that.
Yeah, I love it. My heart is to help people clarify their message so that they can make a better living or connect with their audience, whatever that is. We've got to know how to speak to the people who need our stuff, whether we're
Right.
trying to product, service, whatever it is. When I do talks and I ask them what makes a great story, I hear emotion of blah blah, and I hear blah blah blah, and I hear blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, in one word, what would you say makes a great story? How do you know what makes a good message? Guess what I never hear? Clarity.
Ah,
Clarity. It has to be clear. It can
yes.
be all those things, but it has to be clear for it to cut through the noise, especially in today's age of all the digital marketing out there and the
I
and the
would,
noise.
do you have some additional time for us to move into like a Q&A to allow some folks that are here with us to ask some questions that may be specific to some of the challenges that they have?
Absolutely.
All right. So I want to ask you to stop your share and we can bring
Okay.
people forward. So who would, if you want to just raise your hand or go ahead and take yourself off of mute, let's make this an interactive Q&A here. Thank you for giving us some extra time with you, Haley.
Yeah. I have a
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, maybe it just got answered. So the special, I just put it in the question. You said there's a special just for us today. You said there
Mhm.
was one thing for 4.95 and another thing for 1.95, and then you said there was a special for today. I got lost in what that was.
Okay, sure. So the brand story is usually a separate piece. That alone usually costs about 750. The custom
Okay.
GPT costs 495. But for your crew today, if you click the link and purchase it today, I will do both of them for 495.
Okay.
And if you look at the Stripe, um, If you look at that, it will say you can add another GPT for $195. That's a bundle that you can do if you want multiple. So, say you have maybe your husband has a business, or your spouse, or your significant other, or your child, or whoever, and maybe they want a GPT for whatever they do. Or you want something for a different business that you have. If you wanted to add one more for $195 today, that's a great deal too. So, and you can look at that on the Stripe link. So, yeah, does that
Okay.
answer it?
So you said a story brand, which is normally $750, and then the custom GPT is normally how much?
$495.
$495, and you're saying we're getting both of them for $495.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have like 24 hours to think it back through, or do we have to do it right now?
Yeah, I'll give you 24 hours, but no more.
Okay. And this is customized.
Yes, this is custom just for whatever you need.
Okay.
So it's your voice and your own custom GPT that has you, not in anybody else's voice, but your own, along with all of the benefit of having this epic framework, which I really love. So she's going to actually spend time to get to know you, your voice, what your goals are, and then create it special for you, which is
How
awesome.
does this affect like my website? Would this be
Lots.
changing my website? So then if you personalize it for me, and then I would go to my website designer, which is Glazer, which is one of April's people, would then she change all these things according to how you
Yeah,
maybe
she would definitely do that for you. Just take the wording that you want changed and make it much more impactful.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anybody else
Yeah.
have questions specific to some of the things you're trying to do or maybe understand? Because we're not here to sell GPTs. We're here to
Right.
share with you some experience. I mean, it's great, and I would be clicking buy now if it was me because I'm already working with this lovely lady. But this book that she has just launched as of today is going to give you a lot of that background information so that you can take her framework and apply it yourself. But if you're like me and you just want this marketing magic in your pocket, then you can go further, which I absolutely love. I was thinking about you, John, with the information you're putting together. I think this would be fabulous for JoJo.
Mhm.
So which link is it if we want to go
I
back?
agree with you.
Hmm.
So the Stripe link
Yeah.
includes, I put that in there, I think one of the first ones, there it is.
There we go.
And
Okay.
what other questions? What other things
Yeah.
are you trying to
Anybody
solve?
have a question about your marketing or an example that you want? Go ahead, Debbie. I think I saw you take your phone off of mute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm just making a comment that listening to you tonight makes me so excited because I think everything I was doing was wrong. And it is so easy to go ahead and fix it and see how much different it works.
Yeah.
And I'm really
Good.
excited.
That's good. I love that. I heard so I gave that a workshop or keynote actually Monday at DigiCon, and I posted about my experience with the whole, getting a flat tire on the way home, and she posted something on LinkedIn to my post. She's like, "I'm already using Epic, and it's so great." And so, just like even some of the basic things is fantastic. But when we can fine tune it to your own brand, it saves you so much time. And it's fantastic for you to be able to have something that you can go to all the time. And so you're not having to reinvent the wheel, because I know that's frustrating too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Catherine says, thank you for sharing with us. I look forward to the print book.
Yeah.
Wonderful. When is the print book coming out, Haley?
The print and Audible comes out on the 26th. Now, what you will be able to do, even if you purchase the ebook, let's see, I'll give you that link to the bonus. Okay, here it is right here. Actually, I think it's,
And you guys have been on my mailing list for a while, many of you. So if you start seeing April's emails are getting better, it's because of this wonderful lady in her program.
yeah. Yeah, so everyone who purchased the book, even if it's the ebook, all you have to do, there's QR codes in the ebook and they'll be in the paper as well. But there's also the link right there. So as soon as you get your copy and you go there, you have your name, your email address, and your order number, and I will get that Epic Impact starter kit to you. So then you can have the Epic intro and work through those exercises on your own.
Oh, awesome. What is the Epic Impact Starter Kit? What is part of that?
So it has all of the exercises that I go over in the book. So it'll have your Epic intro, it'll have the Epic framework, it'll help you rewrite some of your own messaging. And so it's very strategic in the way that it has that structure, but it also has lots of stories, it has case studies, it has absolutely, it's just full of a lot of tidbits that I think you'll find really helpful. And like again, even though I wrote this one specifically more specific to like nonprofits or mission-driven organizations, it applies to everybody. So you can easily take the example in there and just, use the framework and then create your own. So it's not that difficult. So there's some prompts. There's some a quick reference guide. There's a team alignment toolkit. And so I'm looking at the other screens. So, but Epic Impact to me is the proven emotionally resonant messaging framework that works for any audience, any platform. And honestly, people can't stop talking about it because if you go to my book and you go down, there's four very specific leaders in large organizations that I have testimonials from, and I have another 2 dozen. So I'm so glad that this framework applies to authors because, now that I'm one of you, I can certainly relate to the challenge and all of the work and effort that you put into your stories, and you want to connect with your audience so you can sell more and change more lives. I mean, we're all about transformation. So
Yeah, and websites. So websites, social media posts, book descriptions, so many of the things that we're doing, sometimes we put our words out there and people aren't acting upon them and we don't know what's wrong with our messaging. So
yeah,
it's not that you've got a problem with your book or that people wouldn't want the book or like the book. Sometimes it's
right.
just the way we talk about it that's not very compelling. So
Yes.
messaging is so very important.
Exactly. Because not only do they look at the title, but they're going to look at your description if they're on Amazon, but if they're not, then they're going to look at the back of your book, or even the first page or two. And so I don't. Who do you usually dedicate your books to? Just by curiosity, fiction I know is might be different, but um, I did something different this time, and I think it's going to resonate. But I would love to even just ask, who do you normally dedicate your book to?
So me, it's usually my family or it's individuals that the book was written for.
Yes.
For me, it's my family, which is my dream team.
Mm.
Yes. Well, and those are all good answers. So what I did instead was I wanted to speak directly to the audience who would be reading my book and would be deciding whether they wanted to purchase my book. And I felt like that was one more piece of real estate, what I call real estate in my marketing space, that I wanted to have a message directly to them. So I will read that to you if you want, and I'll show you how and why I made this a little bit different. Okay, so here's my dedication. My book is dedicated to every mission driven leader who has felt the gap between their impact and their ability to communicate it. You are the nonprofit directors writing grant proposals at midnight, entrepreneurs struggling to explain why their work matters, the coaches who change lives but can't capture it in words, and the change makers who know their message could spark a movement if only they could find the right way to share it. This is for those who refuse to let messaging struggles overshadow their mission, who are ready to bridge the gap between their results and their influence. You are just one story away.
I love that. Wow. Amazing.
So think about it the next time, because here's the thing, our families are going to love us no matter what. If we don't put them in the book dedication, it's not like they're going to write us out of their will. But you need to think about who you're speaking to on those first couple pages. And it, in my opinion, should be targeted to your audience 100%.
Love it. Especially because many times I click on see an example of the book, and I'm going to see that it's going to be right there. The dedication's one of the first things that we show, and people will see, maybe for us children's book authors, a couple of pages of the quality of the illustrations and things like that. But yeah, that's a really important factor that I hadn't even thought of. We did have Dottie put a question here of all the different ways that you can market your book, because you've got this marketing background. What are the most effective, or does it depend?
So I had this saying, I guess, build your well before you need water. Okay. You've got to think what your end goal is and then reverse engineer it. So an example is I have built an email list and I have built a network of people that I can now share my book with immediately, so that I'm not having to build it or share it while I'm still working on the book, or when I just release the book and I'm starting from scratch. So I think that you've really got to be strategic when it comes to your marketing. It's not a nice to have anymore these days. You've got to have a plan. And, chat can help you, or AI can help you do that. I can help you do that. But just having even a strategic plan for every book you have, it details who are the top influencers that could share your information. And like April and I, who's another person who has an audience that you can speak to theirs and they can speak to yours? Because that cross promotion or an affiliate program is huge. So like, for instance, I have an affiliate program and will have an affiliate program for my app. If one of you chooses to, get on the app, like I'm talking, it's going to be very affordable, like around the $20 mark a month. So it's going to be affordable, but yet if you share that with somebody, I want to reward you for it. So think about ways that you can offer value to someone who you want to share your work with their audience. So for instance, if you want to pitch a podcaster, like I'm right there in that phase where I'm looking at all the podcasters that I love, that I listen to all the time, and I'm going to find one thing that I really like about what they do, and I'm going to put that in the message to them. Why? Because I'm going to make sure that they know that I'm not some just generic person doing a pray and spray, like I say, pray and spray, hope that their message sticks. No, think about one thing that could identify you as a fan. So it's about connecting and planning that before you actually need it.
So if you're looking, if you've got an audience, like I have John's here with us today, and he has both things. He's got a nonprofit, and he also has this great new book that's launching. So I think you hit on him in a number of different ways, but he is really focused around the arts and, spreading the word and helping kids really understand and embrace the arts. So he may be looking for other people in that genre, or that talk about the arts, or YouTubers and others. So engaging with them authentically and then being able to get in and talk about something where they're already sharing an audience with him. Like anybody
Yeah.
that listens to that podcast would be interested in his children's book and his focus for his nonprofit. So I think that's brilliant. And it just requires having the right words to also turn those emails and the contact into something that they'll care enough to read through, right? And the subject
Yes.
line that's going to get opened. So that's where a lot of your epic framework can come in.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, don't get discouraged. I know that it's a process if you're thinking, oh, how do I build an email list? I need an email list like tomorrow. Um, it's important because email has a 40 to 100% ROI. And that's why it's so important to think about that. Why? Because here's the thing, I don't put a lot of energy into social media. Number one, I don't own social media. Okay, TikTok went down a few months ago and it went black. Like, can you imagine how heartbreaking that would be if you built all of your platform on social media when you have no control over it? Email, my email list, I own. Okay, and those messages come straight to my phone, where all of my loved ones text me, call me, and so that's why email is so effective.
Right.
And guess what? I'm not even concerned if people don't open my emails. Why? Because it's still brand awareness. They're still seeing my name pop up. And so if you can figure out a way to nurture your audience so that they open your emails, I use Kit. And if anybody is interested in wanting to learn how to start an email, a CRM, that maybe April, we can do that again and just
Yeah.
focus on email marketing, because I know that is a huge stumbling block for most people, is getting that up and going. I use Kit because it's great for creators. I put my message or my newsletter link in there. If you click on that, even if you don't join, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But if you look at that, if you say you click on it, you will see a bunch of other creators pop up that you can subscribe to as well. So, like for April, if she was in Kit, which I think she is, maybe she's going to get back in Kit, I can recommend her and she can recommend me to every single person who joins her my newsletter, my list. So again, you're leveraging your network. You are sharing your network with somebody else, and so it's a fantastic way when you find a really good synergy with somebody, and it works like that.
The other piece too that if you're going to try to grow your mailing list, one other topic we could dive deeper into another time is what are those lead magnets? What can you do? And think about all how important it is that to offer something that's really going to speak to your target audience and describe it in a way that's going to make them want it, because then when they download it, they're signing up for your email list and your email list is growing. So this messaging just it impacts so many different parts of what we're doing in our marketing journey.
Yeah, it does. There is no one size fits all, although with a basic funnel, like I said, you need to have an epic intro, you need to have a lead generator, and it depends on what kind of platform you want to share that on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or whatnot. Just depends on what kind of fits you. And then the third thing is you need to have a landing page. I really do believe that even an author needs to have at least a single landing page. So I partner with another gentleman who does all the back end, and we only charge $1,500 for a landing page that looks really, really good. And so again, it's with a story brand framework. We take your brand story, we just make sure it kind of flows like mine, where you've got all the sections. So because you want people to engage with you, you got to have the right content, you got to have the right copy, the design. And here's the thing, when you go to a web developer and say, hey, I'd like to build a landing page, guess what? They're probably really good on the back end of building all of the code and all that stuff, but they probably have not been trained as a marketer, and especially not a story brand marketer. So don't think that every option for a website is the same. You definitely need to be very strategic there where you put your investment. I call it investment because anything that you're trying to get money back on is an investment. And then you've got the fourth and fifth part of that funnel are your sales and your nurture campaigns. Nurture campaigns help you with cold subscribers. You want to nurture them to get them warmed up, to get to know you, trust you, and then they'll buy from you. Who knows that saying? We all want to know and trust whoever it is where we're going to buy from. And then secondly, you have sales campaigns. You don't want to pitch all the time. So maybe like every fourth or sixth email that you send your list, you might have a strong pitch in there. But for the most part, you need to figure out how can I provide value to my audience, and how can they see that I am worth connecting with, so that I can continue to have a relationship with them, and then, provide my services.
I think that's magical. And for those of us that have websites already, getting all of this information and all of the verbiage that we need, we can easily send that over to our people. And so if you're happy with your website, but you need the help with the messaging, you don't have to throw away the baby with the bathwater. You can get the help with the messaging and then provide it to that individual who is going to help you update it. So I think that's fabulous. I think Jenna-Beth was looking for, she said she purchased and she's looking for a confirmation and she didn't get it. So she's just wondering if there's something missing there. So you might want to take a look at that.
Okay.
Same with me. You said to check orders, but I don't have no idea where to check digital orders.
Okay.
This is Karen.
Okay. And if we've reviewed something on your behalf, like Jackie, I did post that we are streaming live. So if you wanted to go to the YouTube channel and check it out, and for anybody that's here that has not visited my YouTube channel or not subscribed, please do go on. There's over 500 videos out there on self-publishing, and we have special guests and speakers. And I think it's something like 65% or 70% of the people that enjoy and watch the videos never subscribe. And I am only less than 100 subscribers away from 10,000. So we're going to have a big celebration when I hit the 10,000 mark. So
Yes,
love to have you come to the Self-Publishing Made Simple YouTube channel. I'll go put it here again, youtube.com, and it's self-publishing made simple. So go ahead and check it out. You can rewatch this and go to, if we've been showing some things and some messaging that you want to copy, you can go ahead and take a look at that. And the links here from the chat may not be on YouTube, but I can certainly get, I will post them under the channel link or the description for this live video as well.
That's awesome. Yes. And I sent, I think it was Karen, I found yours. So I don't know if Stripe isn't automatically sending something. I can see here how to send that receipt to you, and I'll be happy to do that as soon as we get off of here. And as you know, what comes after solution? Okay, that's the close, Deborah. So you've got the engage, persuade, inspire, and close. And so if you just look at the book description, it actually will cover that in there as well if you need to refer to it. Has a little bit more information there, but yeah, so it's EPIC. And on the intro, it's just the main three parts, and then the close is like how you all do it. But then once you get into the framework, I think that you as authors especially will find it very fascinating, the structure of how I do all of my my writing. And so as you know, it's so important to get reviews, and I am a first-time author. So if you please get any kind of enjoyment out of what I've shared today, or end up purchasing the book, please write a review. That would mean the most to me. I would just so appreciate that. And let me know what I can do for you in return. If there's anything that if I can read something and offer you a review, I'm happy to do that too.
I just have a question. You
Go
said
ahead.
name the problem, solution, and there was something that came after that.
Outcome.
Outcome.
Yep. So, yep. Engage with the problem, persuade with the solution, and then you're going to inspire with with the outcome. Yep.
That's nice.
Yep.
What is your email address?
Sure. It is Haley at HaleyEvans.com. There we go. I think I put that right there. Yeah. I came up with that on my own, right? I mean, you know.
All right. I think we have about time for one more question. If anybody has a specific question about something you're struggling with on the marketing side, we can do that, and then we'll wrap it up because Haley, you have been so gracious, and I'm so glad that you were able to stay with us.
You are so welcome. I'm absolutely happy to help. And I'm just going to put if y'all click on that link to the Epic AI and you want to find out more info or updates about how I'm developing the app and when it's going to come out, just get on, just fill that out. There's no obligation or anything, but as I release more information or know some information, I will be happy to pass that on because I know a lot of folks are kind of chomping at the bit and keep asking me, when's it ready? When's it ready? I think that what I have will be truly unique and different because of the framework that I've created, because it's emotionally resonating. And I want it also to be an amazing experience for anyone who needs help with their messaging. So want to make it affordable and accessible too.
Yeah, and I would like to encourage you to sign up for Haley's email list because you will smile, you will
Yeah.
learn how the messaging works, and it will definitely inspire you to do some similar things with your own messaging. So I loved it. I giggled at her Seinfeld email and then messaged her back and said, "This is hilarious." That was like a very pleasurable email to read, and you don't get those kind of email responses very often from people. So I appreciated it enough to respond and say, "Hey, this was really awesome."
Yes, good. I'm so glad you loved it. And I just put in that Seinfeld email, that last link I just popped in. You can read it if you want. I think it'll probably make you smile too. But yeah, so that's there. And I also did put in, you can also subscribe to the newsletter if you want more tips and things
Yeah.
like that. And then one more thing, I offer an AI marketing boot camp that you'll hear inside the book. That is that's $497. It can be paid two different ways or in split payments, and that's actually 4 group coaching sessions. So I help you train your AI to actually work for you, work with you. So that's another option if it's more affordable that way. Again, like I just want to make this accessible to everybody who wants it and needs it.
This is great. Thank you so much for that. So I don't think we have any more questions. We will wrap it up, and I will just say thank you so much, Haley, for your time and everything that you've been able to do just to give us a little bit of information about marketing and messaging. And I am so inspired by just the little work that I've done with you. And I'm still making mistakes and errors. It doesn't come natural to me. So I cannot wait to get my hands on that GPT that I can use to help really crank out so much. Like when you showed that example of what that,
Podcaster.
one podcast thing
I
turned into
know.
all this data in a matter of no
Yeah.
time. It's something I can easily train my VA to do and help
Yeah.
me, even more. So again, thank you so much. And I hope, guys, that you've been inspired and that you'll share how this helps you with reframing the way that you're talking about your books as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
You are welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Feel
everybody.
free to reach out and hope you have a